Hey, good evening.
Good evening. We are going to start on your end.
Okay, thank you. Mike, please.
Hey, Frank, Mike Trudell. On the walk-off for Spectrum, AD's basically said that he wasn't satisfied with the way that you guys as a team played overall. Thought there were a lot of places that things could improve. So despite winning by that margin, what do you take away from his reaction to the game?
I agree with him. Particularly on the defensive end, we knew they were going to be different, and with no Bam, they bring 5 3-point shooters, and their movement offense is very difficult to guard no matter who's in uniform. But we definitely have to do a better job, in particular on the defensive end. I thought we attacked offensively really well. Had one of our we had a poor shooting night from perimeter, but I liked the quality of the shots for the most part, and even having a poor shooting night, we still end up with an offensive rating of 136. So I was pleased with what we did on that end of the floor. Obviously you can always get better on both sides, but defensively we got to be better.
Frank, just wondered what those conversations were like in practice with LeBron, with Rondo about dissecting a zone, and you guys just getting to that level of talking about who's.
Yeah, just we know the spacing that we want to get to, in a few different alignments. Obviously, a lot of teams don't have 10, 15, 20 different zone offensive plays like they do with man-to-man, but there's a few different alignments we want to get to out of the zone that we feel are favorable to the offense. We got a lot of them tonight, and obviously Doe and Bron and our whole group has a great ability to communicate where the holes are, what they're looking for, and work together in those types of things.
Frank, what were you seeing happening in the third quarter there when they cut that 18-point lead to 9, especially defensively?
In the third quarter, you said?
Yeah, when they cut down, you guys had an 18-point lead and they cut it all the way down to 9, and just wondering what you saw.
Yeah, this team has a lot of fight, and like I said, they're extremely difficult to guard no matter who's in uniform. It doesn't matter that they had some guys out; they're a deep team, and with Bam out, they become different from a standpoint of more spacing at the three-point line, which presents different kinds of challenges. Obviously, Bam is an all-star, one of their best players, but they become different. With him and Dragic out, and those guys played extremely hard, kept fighting to cut into the lead. Like I said, we got to do some things better, a lot of things better on the defensive end, but that's what getting to work and the process is all about. Review the film, meet tomorrow as a team, and make some improvements.
Allison?
Start with David Veneman.
Frank, it was the first time a pair of Laker teammates scored 30-plus in a finals game since Shaq and Kobe back in 2002. What is the way that Anthony and LeBron are able to dominate at the same time? Do they take turns? Do they feed the hot hand? How do they kind of work it out together that way?
Well, they both, and our whole team attacks the defense and reads. You know what I mean? And obviously, they both have the ability to score against single coverage, so to speak. Whatever action you're talking about. But they're both willing passers. So sometimes they're feeding each other. Sometimes they're destroying their own man. And sometimes they're making the extra pass to the open man. Both have that elite ability to score and to read defense. So again, big reason. Those two were huge tonight, and a big reason for the win.
We'll go with Dan.
Frank, you guys had, I think, I'm looking at it right here, 16 offensive rebounds, 8 for Anthony. Physically, how have you guys been able to kind of dominate and use your size in this series, and how big of a factor do you think that's been in these 2 wins?
Yeah, we got a lot of those rebounds, not even with our big lineup. There's a lot of holes in the zone. That's one of them, being able to crash the boards. And we definitely punished that aspect of their zone defense.
Go with Kyle.
Frank, in those situations where you're losing a lead, I mean, you've been in that position a lot these playoffs and gone on to win a number of those games anyway, turned it back. What do you look for in the groups that you want out on the floor, and to your observations, what's their sort of dialogue? Are they trying to simplify things, or how do they approach it?
Well, each group knows what what the strengths are of the personnel that are out there. The great thing is we always have either Rondo or LeBron out there to quarterback the action, and make sure that we're seeing seeing the targets and trying to get the ball to guys in positions to be effective. And when you have two guys like that, or one of them on the floor for all 48 minutes, you're going to get a lot of good action. So I credit those guys.
We'll go back to Dan for follow-up.
Frank, this league, by and large, has gone small in the last decade or so. Why has going large worked for you guys and being big?
Well, we haven't necessarily gone large, big, used the word large. We're a hybrid team. We play all season long, half the game in big lineups, half the game small, and then we have the ability against bigger teams to play more minutes with a big lineup, and we have the ability to play more small lineups against smaller teams when that's needed, like you saw in the Houston series, like you saw with a lot of tonight's game. Dwight started, but he was very effective in his minutes, and that's the biggest thing is our ability to be a hybrid.
All right, we're going to go back to Will for the last few.
All right, yeah, Frank, I'll have a couple more for you. Bill Orm.
Hey, Frank. You indicated in your on-court interview with Rachel that offensively for AD in that third quarter is probably about as good as it gets. Curious what you've seen from him kind of throughout this postseason run from him in terms of his confidence and his aggression, and what kind of growth you've seen in his mindset as you guys have gotten deeper into this.
Well, you said the word right there. His mindset is he wants to be a champion, and he's extremely motivated to play at a high level, and you're seeing it every time he steps onto the floor. Obviously defensively, he's a unicorn, in my opinion, the defensive player of the year. But his shot making, the many ways that he can hurt you offensively, in the post, rolling to the basket, working the baseline like he did against his own, working the middle, shooting threes from the perimeter. It's just very unique, and you can just see his determination, to win this championship on both sides of the ball. But I thought tonight you saw even more on the offensive end.
You're up.
Hey, Frank. There was 3 or 4 possessions in the second quarter where Rondo ducked into the middle and was able to create offense either for himself or for somebody else. Was that something that you guys instructed him to do, or was it something that he kind of just thought up on the fly?
No, it's one of our looks against the zone is to put him in there. We want to put playmakers in the middle. If we can get the ball there and suck the defenders in, it opens up the perimeter, it opens up the rim, and obviously you want great decision makers in there. So Bron, AD, Rondo, all those guys being in that spot benefits our offense.
Frank, I'm going to take 2 more.
Hey, Frank. You went to J.R. Smith tonight after he had been out of the rotation for a while. I was just wondering, what you saw from him and kind of what the goal was with getting him out there tonight.
Yeah, just Danny was battling a hip injury, and he and Kenny were playing well, but we're struggling a little bit from the perimeter. So was just looking to see if we can buy a few minutes with JR. Because of Danny's injuries, and obviously he carries that threat to knock down a 3 or a few threes, and I just like the threat of him being out there against the zone.
Hey, Frank, because LeBron and AD are playing so well at this point, there's already a bunch of chatter about who would win Finals MVP if that were to happen. What's it been like watching both of those guys play so well at the same time on this stage?
It's unbelievable. The way that they work for each other, but both of them, like you said, playing at such an elite level, both of them extremely determined to win a championship, and we're not there yet. We have a long way to go. This is a very resilient basketball team that we're playing, a team that just flew through the East with a 15-3 record, and we have great respect for them. But those guys are playing at an extremely high level, and hopefully we can get 2 more wins. 12-3 record. Been a long night.
Anyone
If
else?
you don't mind,
on
Frank.
I'm going to finish it up with Kyle Goon.
Jeannie was in attendance tonight. I know when the game starts, it's all kind of all business, but is there any sort of, you said the other night you wished her happy birthday, said we can't wait to see you. Did you recognize that? Was there any exchange through plexiglass, so to speak?
No, not tonight. I knew she was coming to town. I wasn't sure what day she was going to get here. But we definitely miss Jeannie, and excited to get this win for her.
Alrighty, thanks, Frank.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.